Yeah, so whosoever is able to switch on the video, please do it. Yeah. So hi everyone. Very good afternoon to all of you. And first of all, thank you to Aditya for I've been chasing him for last 1 year, but for some or other reason, we were not able to do this session. But thanks a lot today for taking out a time from his leisure time on Saturday. And before we go in the session, let me just set a few ground rules. First, we will have another session for cricket. So no cricket related questions today. Okay. In case I'm disappointing some of you, apologies for that in advance. But I think today should be about. So Aditya has a very, very rich experience of helping the Indian national team during their ascent, right? Uh, from 2014 to 19. Am I correct, Aditya? Yeah. So like the period from where we 2012 London Olympics, we went out of group stage, and from there Indian hockey slowly built. So I think Aditya saw it from very close quarters. So we are fortunate enough that today we'll be getting some of those snippets of stories. So let's keep it, if everyone is okay, let's keep it in three parts. One, Aditya, please take 5 to 7 minutes to introduce your journey so far, because I think it has been a very interesting one. And not only your personal journey, but I think the journey of sports mechanics also, if you can, touch upon it, because that's one organization which has seen it all, been there since the start. Still, a very few people know it, right? From there to your journey with Indian national hockey team, and now very, very interesting project uh, FC Madras, right? Where you are handling now wider responsibility rather than just performance analysis, right? So that will be first part, Aditya's introduction and his journey. Second part is I will ask very, very generic questions around what is sports analytics all about, some of the major tools they use, how they go about their day-to-day life and things like those. And then we will open it to the floor will be open to all of you. I hope that works. Cool. So no opposition. So Aditya, please go ahead.
Thanks, Anand. It's fabulous to connect with you again after a while. And thank you all for getting on this call. You're taking some time out of your weekend to listen to my boring voice, which is
It's
thank
not
you.
boring.
Thank you for your time. And it is extremely heartening to see people from all walks of life. Some of you are students, some of you are already working in the field, some of you are working in other fields but want to get into it. And I think this is the right time as sports is booming in India and it is only going to grow. So thanks again to Anand for organizing this call. Uh, I'll try to keep my introduction precise because once I get on that story, it's a journey of 13 to 14 years now. So lots of sweet memories. So I'll just give a brief of what I'm doing right now. I'm working with FC Madras. Uh,
Thank you. पानी दे देना बस.
yeah. So my journey in sports started in 2010. Okay, this is where the first spark of me wanting to work in sports started. This was after I finished my master's in sports biomechanics from Loughborough University. Um and then, you know, like a lot of us today, we finished our graduation, our post graduation, and then we are looking for jobs and so on. So I was in this world where there was no one to guide. Okay, we're talking about 2009. So that's about 16 years back. Uh, Today we have people who you can, ask or, get some enlightenment on terms of the direction to take. But there was no one then. So I was trying to figure out, okay, what would I like to do? So I had an opportunity to think of working in biomechanics side of things, or the other aspect was performance analytics. And I, having done my master's in biomechanics, for some reason I thought that I wouldn't want to restrict myself to a lab. So I uh, thought, okay, performance analytics is the way to go. And I applied for opportunities everywhere. And then my first opportunity came in Loughborough itself. I started working with their hockey team as their analyst, their first team. And then I worked with them for a couple of seasons. But the start of second season, there was a call up there was a job advertised from the England hockey as well. So I was fortunate to land that opportunity, worked with them for a season, and it was time for me to come back to India. And the first touch point was Sports Mechanics India Private Limited. It's a company based in Chennai. Uh, and I knew that, after working with England hockey, I if I had to scale, I have to look for opportunities which is closer to Indian hockey or something that gets me there. Okay, and there are lots of magic moments. Probably I'll try to, touch upon them as the conversation goes along. Uh, so I started, reaching out to people at Sports Mechanics on LinkedIn. Okay, and this is me in the UK trying to apply for jobs in India. But one thing that I was very sure about is I want to work with Indian hockey. So who is that working in Indian hockey? Was Sports Mechanics. So I connected with them and then came down to India, met Ramki, and then he offered me a role. And the world was very different. We in uh, general terms we say that Indian sports industry is 10 years behind the West and so on. So I had the first-hand experience of that. We were trying to figure out something that was already figured out in the West. So in a way, it was a good learning experience. Uh, the first assignment I had with hockey was JP Punjab Warriors. The season before, we had finished second from bottom. Okay, and the second season, a lot of it was at stake. So I joined the team, worked with them, and we were fortunate to reach the finals, but we lost. Okay, and this was somewhere around February 2014, if I'm not wrong, or 2015. I don't remember it exactly. No, 2014. This was Feb 2014. And then I thought, okay, TK, now that this assignment is done, I have to go back to the office and sit and work there. Uh, then probably the next assignment will be Punjab Warriors next year. But
Mm-hmm.
the only thing that I was very, focused on was my work ethic and, the requirements that I had to fulfill for the team. And it so happened that I didn't know who was working with me, or nor did I pay much attention to what their profiles were. So March 2014, suddenly I get a call from Hockey India, and they say that would you like to join the senior men team? And I was like, okay, yeah, that's a fabulous opportunity. I'd like to do that. And joined, and that's when I realized that one of the staff members at JP Punjab Warriors had recommended my name for the role. And then there was no, looking back after that. So it started March 7th, 2014, and then it went on till September 9th, 2019. That's when we played our acclimatization tour at Tokyo for the Tokyo Olympics. And after that, I wanted to switch sports. I wanted something fresh, and I switched to football. So I worked with Roundglass Punjab FC as their academy head of analysis. And now I find myself at FC Madras for the last 3 years, and I work here as the head of operations.
Thanks a lot. That's a very, very interesting journey. And, couple of things which I think I will request people to, which I have picked from your last 8, 10 minutes, is that, one, LinkedIn is a pretty damn good platform, right? And I'm discovering that myself over the last couple of years. Second, there is this saying in Hindi that प्यासे को कुएं के पास जाना पड़ता है, कुआं चल के नहीं आता, right? What it loosely translates to that you have to hunt down for the opportunities, right? And that is something which is very, very important in the early in the career, right? Like opportunities won't come to you. And the third, and I think the most important part which you touched upon, that even when no one is watching you, your work ethic should be there, because you never know which colleague, which acquaintance might help you land your next job. So that's very important, and for people who who are in early in their career, I think this is fantastic advice, Aditya. And basically, I came in touch with Aditya during. So I and we have a common, very dear friend, Mr. CKM Dhananjay, aka DJ, and so generally, when people tell me or give me any opportunity in terms of invite me for some visiting somewhere, they think that this fellow will come after 4 or 5 years, and I surprise them and I accept the invitation immediately. So when DJ told me that FC Madras, you should visit the campus. It's a very, very nice, nicely built facility, like probably one of the best, if not the best. I think it's the best, but at least one of the best, no one can deny academy in every term in the country. And he said this was, I think, in I think if I'm not wrong, September and 2023, almost 1.5 year back. So he said, I will take care of your travel till Chennai airport. I will take care of everything else afterwards. I'm like, okay. And I booked like five days after I was in Chennai. And thankfully, Aditya was my, you can say, POC in the academy, because DJ was not there during that time. And I really, really loved the kind of investment that has gone, which Girish of Fresh Work fame has done in building the facilities. One, having the right people run it, and now going about like basically, I think upwards of 100 CR has been invested in the entire facility, and now they have a CBO. Like, you won't find many academies having a chief business officer, but Greece's and DJ's mandate is very clear that this initiative has to be self-sustainable. It has to be a beacon of hope for sports, because some of you might have seen me bashing random business models left, right, center, but I think FC Madras, what they are trying to do, it's something very, very brilliant, and it will serve as a case study for the Indian grassroots sports. So, having said that, I let's start with let's roll back a couple of years. First, as a freshly minted sports management grad, and we'll have another session sometime on like importance, how it helps. But you know, what was that experience of how did you land at your first job at Loughborough University?
Thanks, Anand. I think I'm very grateful that you asked that question because I think people today need to realize the struggle that you go behind before you taste success.
Before getting into the Indian national team job, right?
Yeah. So if I can take some time to explain my journey. So
Please,
this
please.
was back in 2009 when I picked up sports biomechanics and I went to Loughborough. First up, you are at the best university for sports research in the entire UK and probably one of the best in the world. Okay, so you're already at culture shock and the way they do things, it's very different to a student, who goes from here, India, to the UK to learn. Okay, so that itself was an interesting journey. But then after I finished my master's, obviously I had taken an education loan. So I come from a very humble background. So I took an education loan. So, like any other kid in the family, you have the responsibilities that come on your shoulders. At the same time, you're thinking, okay, how am I going to repay my loan? I need a job, etc., etc., etc. So I pretty much applied everywhere. Okay, I'm not
Fair enough.
joking.
That's, I think, a very important point. Sorry to interrupt. I think even most of us are from that humble background, and that's why I say to people that don't go and take these courses until unless you are sure that you will get a help in terms of finding a job. Please continue.
Yeah. And I pretty much applied in a lot of places. I applied for positions like, teaching assistant, even, roles which had like lab assistants for biomechanics, etc. I applied as a sports assistant at universities, uh, multiple places, and I even applied for clubs who were playing in League One, League Two, or Championship, or even Premier League, just to get an internship. I told them that I have some time. You don't even have to pay me. I will, even invest for whatever it takes for you to sponsor my visa, and you just need to, offer me a role. And I think talking today, it's just a statement, but for a 20 or 21-year-old kid, uh, I had nearly 440 applications who were rejected. Okay,
That's very
so
important, I think, again, right? That willingness, showing the willingness to work and being ready to do anything which is needed, right? Today, people like they straight away ask that, can I get this position? Can I get this, that? Boss, sadly, the world doesn't work in that fashion, right?
yeah, and so I had nearly 440 applications rejected. So I had applied everywhere: Australia, Canada, England, and with all these rejections, one place I didn't apply for was at Loughborough University. Again, this is where I say that there were some magic moments in my life. Okay, so I was like, I'm sitting at the best sports university in the UK. Why am I not trying my luck here? And I
Mm.
send an email out to Loughborough Football, and I send an email out to Loughborough Hockey, saying I would like to work as a performance analyst with the team. Is there a vacancy? And it so happened both of them replied positively. But the only thing was hockey replied early. Okay. So and straight away when the opportunity came, I didn't want to lose it. I was like,
Yeah,
yes, I'll work. Okay. And I joined them, and this was an unpaid opportunity. And to be honest, at that moment, gaining experience was of more priority than earning, any money from them.
yeah.
So I started working with them, and just a note that I have worked in two sports, that is hockey and football, and I
Mhm.
have not played these two sports at all. Okay. At this point, if you ask me to kick a ball straight, 100 out of 100 times, I'll kick it wide. Okay. The only sport that I've ever played in my life is cricket, but I worked in hockey and football. So it's just a story of, pushing yourself outside your comfort zone.
Absolutely.
So Uh, the first opportunity came at Loughborough Hockey. So I started working with them, and there was a bit of, contention that, okay, I'm into the industry now. So I
Yeah.
started working with them, and, as the season was coming to an end, I was only about learning. As the season was coming to an end, I saw a vacancy advertised by England Hockey for their under 21 men's. Okay, and the opportunity was for a performance analyst. And then I looked at the requirements. And when I saw the requirements, it just felt as if it
It
was
was
just
for
made
you.
for me. Yeah, because I was ticking every box,
Yeah.
and I was like, yeah, let's just apply. Okay, and we'll wait for the call. And I applied. There were about 2 to 3 rounds of interview. And
Mhm.
I remember I had a call where the lead analyst of the England hockey called me up, and he said, if you are still available, we'd like you to offer a position.
Mhm.
uh, Let us know what you think. And I was trying to pull a poker face, and I was like, oh, that is very generous and very kind of you. I am interested in this role, and I would like to accept the offer. And then I put the phone down, and I still remember, and it gives me goosebumps even today. I sat there and wept for about half an hour. It was a struggle of nearly a year and a half to 2 years to get something as valuable as this.
Yeah.
Okay, and that's where it started. And then I started working with them. I was part of their journey for the Euros, where the winner and the top four basically will qualify to the World Cup, Hockey World Cup, Hockey Junior World Cup 2016, if I'm not wrong. Uh,
Yeah.
and So a couple of important bits I feel in this journey are 2010. I was at Loughborough University, and what happened in 2010? Can some of you just let me know? There was a sporting spectacle that happened in 2010.
Commonwealth Games, India.
Yeah. Yes. So I have been brought up in Delhi all this while, Commonwealth Games was happening at Delhi in
Yeah.
2010, and I was sat in England. And I was thinking, so all this while I was in India till 2009. So now I come to UK and the Commonwealth Games is happening in Delhi. I wish I was part of this. So this was just a random thought I just let go in the universe. And then I started working with England hockey, and this is in 2012 now. Now, what happened in 2012?
London Olympics.
Yes. So the Olympics is happening at London, but I was in Germany with the under 21 team just when the Olympics were happening. So, and I was
Brilliant.
like, so all this while I was in England, I couldn't attend this. So now that I'm in Germany, Olympics is happening here, and I'm not able to attend the game. Wish I was part of this. And I think it's a very important lesson of intent in your life.
Absolutely.
Okay, if your intent is extremely strong and you're very diligent, I think magic happens because
Absolutely.
2014 Commonwealth Games, I was part of the Indian national contingent at Glasgow. Okay,
Yeah, that's
2016 Olympics at Rio, I was part of the team. So
brilliant.
this was just a random thought that I put out in the universe. And I was not talking to anyone. It was just a random thought in my
Ju-
head.
just one clarification. Sorry to interrupt again. Guys, intent matters. Putting the thought in universe also matters. But then a lot of hard work also goes in the process, and a lot of sacrifices also go in the process, right? Please, because I don't want someone to quote us after this call that, these guys are just saying ki it's only about positive thinking and all.
No, 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 definitely not. I mean, that is just the masala on,
Yeah,
for whatever you're cooking, but you need the main ingredients for sure.
absolutely.
So, in terms of the tough phase, so after I, came back from UK to India, my first assignment being JP Punjab Warriors Hockey India League. So now in the UK, even though I was working with the junior team, I had all the software and hardware requirements sorted, and I could just, work
Now you are
live on
coming
a
to the
game.
struggles. How we are
Yeah.
10 years behind. Good, good.
So now I am uh, I'm with the Hockey India League team with no software. Okay, there was no absolutely there was no software. There was a camera, okay, which I will film the game and then go back and then I'll have to get the work done for the coach. So now this is where, it was a challenge, but then I was someone who didn't want to say no. I didn't want to accept defeat. End of the day, if I accepted defeat, probably, no, the only person who gets affected is myself, okay, because I have decided to be an analyst. No one pushed me to be an analyst. So I had to write my own journey. So I was like, okay, so I struck a deal with the coach that soon after the game, I will give you uh, the match video. So you have a look at it and you let me know what are the times that you need to be snipped, and I'll prepare a playlist for you. While that is happening, I will do the stats for you. Okay, so we're talking about this in 2014. Okay, we didn't have any fancy Python and tagging software, etc. So one second.
No worries. So till Aditya comes back, I will also share the. Yeah, he's here.
Yeah, sorry. So what used to happen was Hockey India League, usually the matches are played in the evening.
Yeah,
Okay, so the matches would come to an end about 8 o'clock. And then after the match, you'll come back to the hotel at about 9 o'clock or something, and then you'll have your dinner, and then everyone goes to bed. Okay. And there was only one person who was working in those hours. That was me. So I gave the footage to the head coach. So while he works, a couple of hours or 3 hours to watch the game and take out the times, I used to sit with a uh, you know spreadsheet. Okay, doing tallies. Okay, number of passes, player A to player B, how many passes? Was it a missed pass? Was it an aerial? So how much of a detail I could get to, and I'm being very humble here, but I think in 2014 no one was thinking like this. Okay, this was something I learned from England.
Yeah.
So I just got that experience here, and I was doing stats. Okay, so end of the game, I will total everything, and then I'll present the stats. I'll keep the stats ready. So now my work will start at 10 p.m. and by 2 p.m. I would have done this.
2
And by
a.m.
2 p.m. Oh yeah, 2 a.m. Sorry. By 2 a.m. I would have done this. And 2 a.m. I'll receive a text from the head coach with the times. So now I'm sat there. There is no tagging software, guys. So I was sat with VLC Media Player, snipping videos. Okay. And for the title, you can call yourself performance analyst. But what I was doing was just editing videos and working on stats. So snipping videos and combining them into playlists, etc. By 4:30 a.m., I would be done with my job, and I will send an email to my coach, and then I'll go to bed. But I have to come back at 8 a.m. to sit with the coach at breakfast to discuss the strategies and what needs to happen, what happened in the last game, etc. And remember, I was still learning. Okay, I mean, I've never played the sport, so I have to keep my profile very low, learn from the experts, learn from the best in the industry. So I was all ears. Uh, so my days were extremely long to an extent where it was around, sometimes 19 hours long days, and uh, somewhere that played in an important role in our team reaching the finals of the tournament. And we were the team that
This
reached the
was, sorry to
finals.
interrupt, this was the inaugural season, right?
Yes.
2014.
Yeah. So this was the second season, rather. The
Okay.
first season we finished second from bottom. Okay, this was in 2013 and 2014, 15, 16, 17. 4 years we finished. We went to the finals and we won it once.
Nice.
Okay, and so this was in 2014. After the Hockey India League, I'm thinking, okay, now I have to go back to uh, sports mechanics, and I'll be doing my back end coding work on a software. And it was I wasn't expecting anything. So what happened at Loughborough as well, again, what the commonality between what happened at Loughborough and the Hockey India League experience was, I never even worried. I was never bothered to see who I'm working with. As long as I'm doing my job diligently, okay, and I'm giving what the team requires for success, I just put my head down and did the work. And what eventually happened was at Loughborough, I realized later that the coaches I was working with were the coaches, the coaches were part of England Hockey Board. Okay, and
Ah,
they had recommended my name for the England hockey job. So now same here. The one of the coaches who was working with us was in the advisory committee for Hockey India. Okay, and he had put my name forward for the national team. And luckily, once I moved on to the national team, luckily because it's the pinnacle, we had enough software support and hardware support. So after that, it was only about improvisation and then, building up from there.
that's brilliant. And see, again, like it's a combination. It's a proper life is a proper cocktail that way, right? Like it's a lot of intent, willingness, and luck, being at the right place at the right time, and then not cutting corners, because you might get some success by cutting corners, but you won't get a lot of it. And see, many a times when people reaching out to people is great, but at the same time it has to be done with intent and humility as well, that without thinking that you might or might not get anything in return. I will take a minute here, Aditya, just to share like on the intent part, because my journey is not even half of yours in terms of timelines. Because 17, after graduating, doing my postgrad, I was working in commodities trading. Everything was going well, but by 2019 start, I was, I'm like, I have to switch. And unlike you, I have, like, I haven't played at any professional level, but university level, field hockey is my first game, right? And funny part is that I have only worked in cricket that way. So I think you might think we it would have been great if we could have switched places, but yeah. So at that point in time, I contacted Apache. He's my college senior, and he was working with Sports Consult, and I was ready to take half pay cut at that point in time, because which is ridiculous when I think right now. And if I would have taken it, I would have lost my job during the pandemic, because like every other firm, Sports Consult also struggled. I went to my boss and I told him that I want to go out. And this guy in his 50s, heading the department, one of the most important in Reliance, he's like, why do you want to go out? Reliance is the biggest sports practice in the country. I'm like, sir, because I don't know anyone in Reliance, right? And I used to stalk IMG Reliance folks on LinkedIn, but never, I didn't think that anyone will accept my request, or I will get a chance to work. So this guy's like, okay, I will connect. And he directly connected me with B. Srini sir, who is MDA's EA. And he connected me with my current boss, Devang sir. And that's how now it has been almost 6 years. And, things have been great, but the reason I'm sharing this story is that the first step has to be taken by you. No one else can take that for you, right? So I think that is something very, very great in terms of doing the course, but then applying everywhere else. And I think Sumit was saying the other day in the group, I love acronyms. So I think your story is a true example of Diye Tale Andhera, right? That you applied everywhere, but not to Loughborough, right? So that's great, right? And so you have shared your story with hockey national team. How was the transition to football? How it is different as a sport? How analytics in football and hockey is different? What are the similarities? If you can, shed some light on those.
I think hockey and football are very common in terms of, because both are formation sports. I think, the transition from one to the other is easier, especially if you're transitioning from hockey to football, because hockey is a rapid sport.
Yeah,
Okay, so let's say as an analyst, when you're tagging things, if you could tag about 700, 800 KPIs live, football gives you a lot more time. So, you can probably tag 1200 to 1300. So, in terms of the sports analytics, it's very similar. Obviously, the rules are slightly different. Offside comes into play, etc. Uh, so the reason why I switched from hockey was, again, I was getting into a comfort zone to an extent
yeah,
where I realized that uh, you know I could probably do this with one of my hands tied. Okay, and what uh, probably there will be professionals, young professionals who would like to grow in this industry. There's no one to push you. Okay, there's no one to ask you anything. There's no one to set standards for you. Okay, so everything has to be set by you. The heights that you want to get onto, it is only decided by you. So when
yeah,
I joined the national team as well, even though we had the hardware and software support, no one had done this before. Okay,
yeah,
I mean, it was an attempt that was made to start with, but I can proudly say that what Hockey India has today, uh, you know, I would like to be humble, but a lot of the foundation stone and the work has been done collectively by, the team at Sports Mechanics, and I was fortunate enough to lead that.
Just
But
to just to sorry to interrupt, Aita, just to give people, I think Ramki and sports mechanics deserves due mention here. So Ramki is someone who can very humbly, like I can say that he has helped improve the legends like Sachin, Sehwag, MSD, Rohit, improve their game. Just search sports mechanics at 20 years on YouTube and you will realize that why I'm talking with such passion about sports mechanics, right? Sorry, Aditya, please continue.
Yeah, so after setting up everything by 2019, I started to get a feel that. So, just to give you a brief, when a day of an analyst in hockey is probably you'll pack your bags and everything, and then you have to get on top of a video tower, which is usually behind the goal. You film, and then you live tag, and then you sit, do post-match analysis, etc. So by 2019, I started to get a feel that I think I'm overqualified now. Okay, how many times will I go and film the game from the tower? So soon as you start getting such a feel, I think you have to push the limits. You have to, see where you can improve yourself.
Absolutely.
And I started thinking, okay, I need a switch. Okay, and hockey is still, I mean, we have a very common saying in hockey that हॉकी से कोई निकल सकता है बट हॉकी आपके दिल से नहीं निकलती.
Absolutely.
So I moved
Every
on
Sunday.
from hockey. Sorry? Oh, okay. So yeah, from after hockey, I decided, okay, I want to switch. And while I was working with hockey, the only league I used to watch was Premier League. Okay, I always used to watch football, and I tried to, figure the commonalities. Okay, what is the formation that we use in hockey, and what is that they use in football, and so on. So the transition was slightly, I would say, easier. I had a common friend who put me in touch with the then technical director of Round Glass Punjab FC, Michael Brown. Again, I call myself very fortunate that I had a chance to work with people who have worked, in four Olympics, and they've one of the coaches who I worked with won the Olympics gold with Australia, and now when I transitioned to football, Michael Brown was the one who set up Aspire Academy in Qatar. Okay, and we all know where they are today. So I was fortunate to be connected with him, and he was like, "Okay, how are you going to? Because you've not worked in football, how are you going to, create a difference in football, etc., coming from hockey?" And I think I was, as I drew commonalities, and I understood that I want to work with academy players. Okay, one of the reasons for me trying to feel, being dragged down was ever since I started working in 2010, I had always worked with professional players. Okay, and now you're working with someone like Srijay, Sardara Singh, Manpreet Singh, Harmanpreet. They have played the sport for nearly 15 years now. Okay, can I bring about a change in their technique? Can I bring about a change in their gait? Probably not. Okay, they have played the sport for so long, and they have played it a certain way because it works for them. Okay, so I started to realize that the actual difference that you can create in the professional level is 2 to 3%. And if you want to see a quantified growth, it has to be long term. So, for example, 2014, when I joined the national team, we were ranked 13th in the world. Okay, by the time I left in 2019, we were sixth, and very quickly after that, we climbed to fourth. Okay, but then that took about 6 years to see the change. Okay, and I was thinking that, and one sorry statement was, a lot of young players who came into the national camp, okay, they had to be taught the basics. So I always had this thought in my mind that why can't we create a difference at the academy so that the creme layer that comes to the national team is good. If you already have the talent that is coming to the next level is good, then the country will, soar higher. So I wanted to work with an academy, and I, took an interview with Round Glass Punjab FC because I wanted to be with their academy, and I started working with them. And such are the times that I started working with them in 2019. And 2020 they had their first team, and they didn't have the budget enough to hire someone for the academy. And they said, "Oh, could you please move to the first team?" And I was like, "Okay." And it's an experience, working in professional football. It's not a bad experience to have. And I started working with them, and it was a double whammy because one, again, I'm working with professional players, and secondly, it was the year when COVID struck. Okay, so I was locked in a bio bubble in Kolkata. I was there for what 6 months in a bio bubble, taking part in the league. It was an interesting journey. The coach I had worked with was an ex-Crystal Palace player. The academy coach who I had worked with was a Chelsea recruit. And the academy director was someone who set up the Leeds United Academy. So it was a good experience. So the transition from hockey to football was easier.
Just a second. Yeah, I think, thank you. I think that's again very interesting, right? And I will just say one thing like, although for you this transition really, really worked, I was getting this feeling last year, like 2023, not last year, when I had visited there at FC Madras, because the problem is when you keep doing, like for me, the issue was that by that time I had bought four team with Reliance Sports, Mumbai Indians. Basically, when I had joined, there was one team. Then first we bought MI Emirates in Abu Dhabi, then MI Cape Town in you know South Africa, then WPL team in Mumbai, and then MI New York in MLC. And the problem is when you keep doing same things, after a time you are like, so nowadays when you're like I don't know how difficult it is for people to understand the business models of sport or business plans of these different leagues, grassroots. I haven't worked that much, but again, same thing. What you were saying, that you can work with one hand tied. Same thing, like with business plans, I'm like, boss, it's like second nature, right? And when that happens, then it's, I think, very important to try and do something else, because otherwise, if you don't try at that point, you will never see growth in your life. So I think that's very, very interesting. So from there, how did you like, this is last question from my side, and then we'll open the floor for questions. How did you change to FC Madras, and how different the role is from a regular performance analyst?
Yeah, so the hunger to work with the academy was always there. Okay, it was brewing, and I think it was only getting stronger by time. So by the time I finished my third season with Round Glass, I was already in talks with DJ saying, "Can you put me somewhere, let's say in cricket? I would like to work in the operations." Okay. Having said that, in the past, I did get offered, "Would you like to work in cricket?" when I was in the formative years. And I was very adamant. I was like, "No, I want to do something in hockey. I will not work in cricket." Uh, but again, so I was talking to DJ and I was like, "Can you put me somewhere with Mumbai Indians? I'm okay if I have to, work as someone's assistant to roll about to know and learn about operations, etc." And DJ being DJ, he was like, "Okay, let this thought just grow. We'll connect again at some point." I was like, "Okay." And then as the bio bubble, extended, the feeling was only growing stronger. So I said to DJ that I have decided that whether there is something or not, I'm leaving here because one, I'm not able to handle the bio bubble, being away from your family for 6 months, and at the same time, uh, you know, I want to work with academy. I want to work with young athletes and grow their careers, and that's more, you feel more grateful about their success journeys. And that's when DJ said that, "Okay, there is a project in Chennai. You just come down and have a look, and we'll discuss about it later." And I just came down, and the first office that we had was at Thoraipakkam in Chennai, where we had a container next to a full-size 11-a-side turf. Okay, that was that was about it. But because I was told that this is an academy and we are growing, bottom to top, um, and the idea is about producing better athletes from the grassroots level onwards for the national team. I was like, yeah, the idea is sold. I will take it. I would like to do something fresh again because analytics I had already done for nearly what uh, 12, 13 years.
Yeah.
So it so happened that the role I got offered was head of football operations, where analytics is one of the departments that I handle,
Yeah.
but I don't have to do it hands-on. So I have a team that works on it, and I sort of help them,
The
in
brilliant
guiding them.
part is you, sorry to interrupt. The brilliant part is you can't say no to that campus here. It's too good.
No, no, you can't. And when you love something that you do, I so every day I have to drive 50 kilometers one way to
So
get
you
to
are
the
living in
academy.
Chennai and going to what's the area?
Mahabalipuram.
Mahabalipuram, right?
Yes, yes.
Uh,
So because you like uh, uh,
but the road is
profession
good,
so
yeah.
much,
The road is
uh,
good.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So you find your balance. It's okay. But evenings I get to spend my time with the family. So it was a win-win situation.
Awesome. So thanks a lot, Aditya, for entertaining my questions. And guys, let's go crazy now. It's over to you. We can go one by one, or let's go about it. Whosoever wants to start, we will. So Aditya, you have another 25 minutes. Cool. So let's start. Anyone, any questions? Otherwise, guys, I am shameless. I will keep asking.
Hi, this is Chetan. So, Aditya, it's great to hear the journey that you've achieved so far. Now, I come from a sport which is non conventional, which does not exist anywhere in India. It's been a slow sport. Of course, snooker has been prevailing. It's a great sport, but then I play pool. Now, even if I look at snooker or pool in India, the entire analytical sector is not something that is taken off, or nobody's really focused on a sport like this, because yes, we do get the words like, oh, you're not an Olympic sport, we are not going to support you. I've heard all of that in the last 15 years that I've been trying to build something here. So what would be something that you would want to give, so I'm trying to build a team right now, and I want to focus on analytics, because I understand one thing, that when kids want to learn about a sport or understand a sport, this is the fastest way to teach them what they would learn. Correct me if I'm wrong there.
Tough question, Chetan, but thanks for the question. It is definitely something that is very new to me. I don't even know if my words will make any sense here, to be honest. But what I
Okay.
see is the industry of sports in India has evolved. Okay.
Right.
Back in
Right.
2010, I had the liberty to take this risk because no one had done this. Okay. So if no one has walked a path, you can create a path for yourself. But I think now, in India, sports is buzzing. Uh, every now and then, you keep getting requests on LinkedIn, people trying to connect, trying to get into the sports industry, and so on. I think, Chetan, because you are in this industry of pool, you would understand the intricacies, very well. Then I could explain it to you. So what
Right.
I would suggest is, there may be multiple ways, but I'm just thinking from top of my head, what I can feel is, uh, you can try and influence the industry in India as much as possible. Okay, there's only a limit that you can push, but if there are no takers, there are no takers. But possibly what you can do is, uh, you can look for fundings from outside, okay, and try to grow it in India while you have funders and takers on the
All right.
outside world. So that will
Yeah,
be
we've
my humble suggestion.
we've done a grant. We've done a small grant so far based on the presentation that we've created, and this was through a platform called Emergent Ventures, and we did raise a decent sum of $20,000. But then the challenge is also the technical side. We need, since we are not from a technical background, right? So putting a team together is been tough. Where I need somebody who is a techie who could work on the performance analytics side and help us build what we're trying to do, and then most of these guys don't come at a small pace until unless I'm able to hire interns and work with them. So been trying to do that, been trying to build, but then it's not a sport that's been at the grassroots level. So that's also been a challenge that we face, because I've approached CBSE board trying to get them to push something and then introduce the sport, but then we just get back a big no from everyone. So yeah, but definitely thanks for
Yeah,
the
I can
advice.
understand, but I think the need arises, and as the need arises, roads open up. Okay, and I think you are at a position where you can influence it either ways. I think having interns is a very good shout. Well, not everyone will have the fundings that they would need to have, a top-notch team doing the analytics for them. But
Right,
to start with, you can have a team of interns who help you out. But I'm pretty sure that, the scrutiny process of getting these interns should be a tough one because the value that you want to create, only you know about it. But if you have every other person coming in as an intern, then you're only having someone who's doing the job for you, but not relating to your purpose.
agree.
And I think if you connect to the right people, you connect to the right interns, you never know that you may find that magic moment where these interns tomorrow will, end up being employed by you or being partnered by you, and then tomorrow suddenly you're big. Okay, but
Right,
I think the intent needs to be there, and it's about the temperament, okay, of how much you can go. And you have to be a
okay.
bit mad, because we're all in sports. So we all have to
I
be.
oh yeah, yeah, we been doing that. I get what you're talking about. All right, thank you.
Thanks, Chetan. Anyone else?
Yeah, hi, Abhishek this side.
Yes, Abhishek, please go ahead.
Yeah, yeah. Thanks, Aditya, for sharing your journey and experiences. So, my background is into marketing, that too into electronics and telecommunications, right? And now I'm looking forward to explore something into sports. So, how to go about it? So, I have been into sports in my school, college life. I played till corporate cricket and all those things, but not fully into sports. But now, what I see, I can look into a different domain where I can be into different kind of zone in marketing.
Aditya, before you answer, can I ask a counter question to Abhishek? Abhishek,
Sure, sure.
Are you ready to take pay cut? How 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 much experience do you have right now?
So I have 22 years of experience in marketing.
So only try sports if you are ready for a big pay cut. Now go
Yeah,
ahead.
yeah. I'm looking into that. Something very different now after having 22 years of corporate life.
Abhishek, thanks for this question. Okay, I'll just quote a couple of instances from my journey. Though
Sure.
I came from, UK to India with 2.5 years of work experience, the salary that was offered to me was compared to the industry, it was low. Okay, and even my parents were like, "Why don't you get into mainstream and you'll start earning more money and all that. You'll have a decent life."
Mm-hmm.
But my intent was I want to be in the sports, whether make it or break it. Okay, I
Right.
mean, I was mad enough to see that चल गया तो ठीक है नहीं तो we'll see. Okay, so I said, okay, I'll accept this offer.
Mm-hmm.
And same thing, what we have to realize is, one question that you have to seriously ask yourself is, do you do you like sports or do you want sports as a career? Okay, it's a very thin line between it because let's say as kids, when we were growing up, if we were asked to go study for 2 hours and then we were
Mm-hmm.
asked to go play for 2 hours, we probably would have enjoyed the latter more.
Yeah.
Okay, so now that the sports industry is booming, what we feel is sports hai maza aa jayega. But what we have to realize is if you take sports as a career, it's a profession, like any other profession. Okay, you
Mm-hmm.
have to take
Very
emotions
true.
out of it. Okay, just like how in corporate world you're doing something without emotions, there will be moments where you will go through some really tough times. Okay, and this is not something एक feel नहीं है कि अभी अच्छा लगा तो ठीक है घुस गए. There is no way, there is no turning back. Okay, and probably I would say play to your strengths. Okay, for example, if you've been in marketing for 22 years,
Mm-hmm.
play to your strengths in sports industry on the marketing front. Okay,
Yes.
don't suddenly wake up one day, I'll be a physiotherapist.
No,
नहीं चलता है ऐसे.
no, no,
So
only into marketing only.
yeah,
I
yeah,
would
play
explore
to your
into marketing.
strengths.
Yeah.
And what I would suggest to anyone on this forum is be extremely sure of your whether you're okay to take sports as profession. And secondly, be what's the word? Once you commit, okay, be okay. Don't compare yourself to others. Okay, I had when I was earning 25,000 a month, I had a friend of mine who was making 4 lakhs a month. Okay, and he was, but on the call, he'll tell me that even though I'm making so much money, if there is someone who is doing something very relevant and something passionate, it's you. And that was driving me. Okay, I never compared myself to उसका क्या हो गया घर खरीद लिया that will happen. If it has to happen, it will happen. But what is
Yeah,
your passion? What is your if you really want to make a career in sports, take emotions out of it. Okay,
very important. And just to
Makes
just
sense.
to add one thing, I think see, people think of sports industry like, as you said, that there will be brilliant moments as well, but that's about it. That's like also like any other industry. Like you will get to meet some players, you will get all that, but don't think you will be best if you are working in cricket. Don't think you will be best pals with Virat and Rohit. If you are working in, even though let's say Aditya worked in, okay, I'm sure it's not that you used to chill every day with Manpreet, Sardara, PR Srijesh. Yes, there will be occasional great, brilliant, lifelong memories with these people, but that's about it. That can happen in any other industry as well. And there is one more struggle when you start working in the industry. For some time, the fun of watching game from a fan's perspective goes for a toss. And you always, if you are on the commercial side, you keep seeing those billboards, this, that. If you are on the technical side, you keep seeing this gate is not proper, this is not there, you know, the players is alignment is not proper, and this and that. And I had my serious doubts about me being a fan, because I used to think that in my friend circle earlier, I was the like biggest sport fan, let's say. When I entered the sports industry, everyone was like better than me, even on that parameter, right? Like one guy is, he's a national level golfer. Another guy has played Ranji with Sardul Thakur. Another guy has played Ranji with even Ajinkya and all. So when you see, you have serious doubts. But at the end of the day, as Aditya rightly mentioned, you are going in any industry for your skill set. If you are a marketing person, go for that. If you are a sales person, go for that. If you are a strategy person, go for that. And it's also just another industry. Yeah. Don't over glorify the sports industry at the end of the day, because just because it gets like 90% more highlight in the newspapers, in the media than other industry, don't think it's better. Pay wise, it is still at 70-80% of other industries. So just treat it like any other industry.
yeah, and try to find your unique USP.
Yeah.
Okay, I mean, I'm so glad to hear from Chetan that he's working in a field that no one else is focused on.
Yeah.
Okay, आप सभी क्रिकेट में घुसेंगे तो it's going to get saturated, and
और
we have a
क्रिकेट में भी घुसना है तो डिफरेंट तरीके से घुसो यार. अभी देखो सब लोग लीग बना रहे थे, स्टेट लीग्स. And yesterday, like day before yesterday only, I got to know about the brilliant business model of Indian Street Premier League. I don't know if you saw that post. They are doing 300 crore of revenue just by taking 1,000 rupees plus GST on player registration. Can you imagine? And like someone asked me in my friend circle that, do you think hockey and football will get something like that? I said, I don't think anything other than a street cricket can get it. But if they would have gone like the usually taken path of building a league which relies on media rights and sponsorship, they would have been nowhere. Right now, you won't believe they are India's second biggest league, world's second biggest cricket league on any parameter.
good
Yeah.
point. Good point.
Anyone else? Anyone else? We have another 10-12 minutes.
Thanks, Aditya. Thanks, Anand.
Thank you, Abhishek. Wish you the best. Let me unpin you. Guys, anyone? Gopal, Ravinder, Nusair, Mayank, Mudit, Omkar, Anirudh. Anirudh, you are usually very active on the group. Anything here?
I think I managed to put him to sleep.
Not really. Okay.
Hello,
Yeah,
hello,
Omkar,
Anand.
go ahead.
I just have one question to Aditya. Currently, I'm a student at IIT Kharagpur in my second year BTech. So, how do you see the sports industry evolving in the next 5 to 6 years? And how do you want me to, analyze and plan a career into sports analytics, taking into view the evolving sports industry?
Which
Like, what
branch,
should be the
Omkar?
appropriate what?
Which branch you are pursuing your
Uh, So I'm in biotechnology department, and so I wanted to ask, like, how should I approach a career into sports analytics?
try to get an sorry Aditya, let me take the liberty, please. Try to apply for a summer internship at IIT Madras. They have a brilliant setup in sports science and medicine side. Since you are in biotech,
Yes, yes, I did that. I did that. I approached one of the
thus
professors in
you are
one
doing the
company.
right thing.
Yes, yes, yes. Hopefully, I'll get a chance this summer.
Yeah, Aditya, please.
Good question, Omkar. And I think this goes to everyone. Okay, what we generally in India believe is to land a job, you have to study the course in that field. For example, before I did my master's in sports biomechanics, I did my undergrad in biomedical engineering. Okay, right now you ask me about anything in that field, I have zero idea. Okay, and after biomechanics, the field that I'm working in, I'm an operations head. Okay, so I think what is important is learning along the way. Okay, and the period at colleges or universities are key. Okay, and I think today you have access to a lot more things than what I had in my times. So I would suggest that whatever opportunity that you get being at university, whether it's through your university or outside, look for internships, do as many internships as possible in varied fields. Okay, so let's say if your course is 4 years, and if you can do internships in four different places, one is about event management, one is about performance analytics, one is about marketing, etc. Okay, test different waters and see what you actually can associate yourself to. What is that entices you more? Okay, that is the time where you lose nothing. You're only gaining from everywhere. Okay, and what you may feel is, you may want to do a collection of everything. Okay, so that is a time for you to explore and get in touch with a lot of people. I would say LinkedIn networking is extremely beneficial, and do it the right way. Okay, first up, don't start the message saying, "Hi, bro." Okay, that puts me off. I don't respond to whatever is followed by that. The second one I would suggest is the very first message, don't ask for a job opportunity. Our population is nearing 1.4 billion. Okay. And pretty much everyone wants to work in sports. But what is unique about you? Okay. If everyone that sends a message says, is there a job opportunity? It's very difficult. Okay. What I would suggest is try to learn from the journeys. Let's say if you want to become an analyst, okay, connect with people. Let's say if you want to become uh, an analyst with, let's say, Mumbai Indians. Probably connect with people who are already in that position. Okay, you may want to get to that position in 5 years' time. Okay, so see what their journey has been. Where did they start? How did they get into where they are today? Okay, so that is very important, and ask the right questions when you get an opportunity to connect with someone. Learn from them, learn skill sets which will help you grow. And I think Omkar, wherever you are getting, you are probably getting the right form of education at the right level, and you've already started, connecting with people. It is good, and don't run behind money right now in your formative years.
Yeah,
Okay.
absolutely important.
Sure, sir.
If at all it has to flow, it will come when the time is right. Okay. Yeah, that's what I would like to say here.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
Anand, you're on mute.
So I've got a question from Anirudh Iyer. Recently seen a lot of upgrade in hockey equipment. Has there been any performance improvement around it that you have noticed of? See, I mean, a few decades back, the advancement was, moving from a grass field to turf, where, it just toppled the Indian hockey. The skills went for the toss. It wasn't given as much importance as the physicality. But I think now that um, the national team or the other programs as well, it's all played on turf. Any such changes in equipments, etc., is decided by the FIH. Okay, and then what happens is, because Indian hockey is in the top four or top five of the country, we have sort of the edge over the other teams. It's not that we are left behind. We don't have to wait for another 5, 10 years to get what an Australian team or Netherlands has now. But I think the quality of the improvement in performance is also due to the collective efforts. Okay, so if you see the current batch, where we have Harmanpreet, the Sarpanch Saab, is also Harmanpreet, Manpreet, Varun Kumar, and so many. They have been playing together ever since the 2012 Olympics. Manpreet came in, and then after that, after 2016 Junior World Cup gold, this team has played together for nearly 9 years. So you will see, that there is improvement in performance, and I have a very strong feeling that they will do well in the upcoming World Cup as well. Okay, it depends on, in terms of technology and stuff, we are at par with the world, if not better. But what I feel is, it will be very important to note how the transition happens. Okay, that is after the Olympic cycles, when we have new players coming in now that we have Abhishek and new players coming in, they also need to grow in experience, so that when players retire, so for example, now Srijesh retires, Krishna is ready, Suraj is ready. Uh,
And
that
they were giving
transition is
them a
very
lot of
important.
time. Sorry to interrupt. They were giving them a lot of time for last 4, 5 years. I think Deep
Yes.
also has a question after you finish answering.
Yeah. So the transition is very important. And I think Hockey India is doing a very good job, that they are exposing these athletes to what the national team gets at a very early stage, that is in the junior level as well.
Deep,
Deep?
please ask.
Hello, sir. Am I audible?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So great to know about your journey. First of all, my name is Somideep Chatterjee. I'm currently doing my BCom in marketing from Symbiosis Pune, and I'm planning to pursue sports management abroad or maybe in India. So one of my top options was Loughborough University. So I wanted, and current since last 2 years, 1 year, I've been working in operations and logistics in sports events. So I wanted to know from you that apart from this, I was also willing to focus on other field like PR, sponsorship, marketing. So is that something that you would advise? What should I do if I'm planning to do my PG abroad? Thank
See,
you.
if I have to answer this, I'll just use an example. To taste paneer butter masala, you don't have to learn how to cook it.
Correct.
Okay, so I am someone who believes that you learn more at work than in a classroom. Okay, because the outside world, from a classroom, is very different. The challenges are real world problems that you may not get in a classroom. So this is again going by the Indian, belief that to have a career in a certain field, you have to study in that field.
Yeah.
I think sports is something that you can probably uh, get by if you get collective experiences. Okay, I mean, You want to work in something, go find before. Okay, I'm not discouraging you from going and doing a sports management degree. What I would suggest is you start working in the field that you want to be in, gain
And
some
do that
experience.
now, right? Do that
Yes,
now. Take some
gain
kind
some
of experience,
experience.
work with any small organization, any small team, age group team. So see, Somadeep, I'm a strong opponent of doing any specialization in terms of any course when it comes to beat sports. And recently I was having a chat with someone senior in the industry, and I had got a call. My boss, in fact, had got a call because I was doing a lot of ungli in terms of why people shouldn't pursue sports management, and this person wanted to sue me and all. That's a different matter. But because I was spitting facts, these guys are not liking it. See, as I just simply said that you don't really need to taste it, you don't really need to know how to make it. To put it in different way, skill sets are needed. Your PR skill sets are needed. Your marketing skill sets are needed. It's not needed. What is not needed is that whether you have a domain expertise or not. So focus more on your PR and marketing skill sets rather than doing some specialization in sports, because you never know when the industry might change.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah,
Thank you.
and I think so many what needs to happen is you start working in that field, okay, and then at some point you would realize that there is a gap in knowledge that if you can get those points sorted, you can scale. Okay, and that's when you need to go sit in a classroom to learn that specific skill. Okay, I mean, at this point of time, if you don't have work experience, uh, I would suggest gain some experience before you go and do a master's.
Like if you want, I can get you in touch with Akash, who Akash Tiwari is working with Gadwal FC. Work in their PR department as an intern for some time, right?
Okay. Hmm. Got it. Thank you.
Any last questions?
Yes, sir. Sir, I wanted to ask.
Please, Parth, go ahead.
Yes, sir. First of all, thank you for giving your wonderful advice and your knowledge and about experience. I wanted to ask, like, how is football analytics different from cricket? And like, if we have to switch into in football, then how we
We,
should approach?
Parth, I don't know whether you listened to me at the start, but we said we will not talk
Yeah, yeah.
any.
I mean, asking if you want to switch to
Sorry.
football.
Aditya, yeah. This is the last question, anyways. Please go ahead.
So if you switch from cricket to football, one key difference is they don't use a bat. Okay, I'm just joking. So see, Parth, what I would suggest is before you get into any field of analytics, okay, you need to know the sport inside out. Okay,
Yes.
I was so intrigued about a lot of courses that happened, online courses that happened during COVID. I'm okay with these courses being conducted, but they had tall claims that you do this course, it's a 2 hour course, and then get an opportunity to be an analyst in the industry.
Are these
And
the
I
199 rupee courses you are talking about?
yeah,
We
and
bashed
I
them
was
quite a
thinking
lot.
that I was intrigued that what is that magic formula that they're giving in 2 hours that I could not figure out in 6 years' time, or maybe that took 6 years for me to get here. Possibly I should have done a course in 2 hours, and then I could have fast tracked my progress in the industry. But having said that, I also sat in one of these courses, okay, and soon as the course started, after all the introduction and stuff, the very you know from the 10th minute onwards till the end, everyone just started speaking about Python, data, visualization, uh, predictive analysis, etc., etc., etc. And I was thinking, okay, but uh, if you want to do that, possibly, let's say, if you're talking about Premier League, then you have availability of data. If you're talking about cricket, you have availability of data. But if you're working in a field like hockey or football in India, okay, we can do all these predictive analysis, etc., etc., etc. But who generates this data? What is the real world problem? If you had to go sit with the coach, with all the models and all that, he will be put off. He'll be like, what is this? Okay, show me formation. What is the opposition's weakness? So what I would suggest is, learn the sport, intricacies of sports, learn what actually a coach is demanding, because you will be closely working with the coach. Okay. And anything that you do on top of it is a plus.
Yeah.
Okay. So uh,
Yes.
it's a learning. So I would say probably join a local club, which is very, pro development. Okay. They should not give you a title of an analyst, but in fact, you're just a cameraman. Okay. That's not what should happen. So join some progressive academies or clubs that are nearby that will give you that opportunity for you to try it out and grow.
So like the domain knowledge is very much important rather than
Extremely
technical.
important.
Yeah.
Extremely important. So though I didn't play hockey and football, okay, that doesn't mean that I didn't know the sport. Okay, obviously parts of it I learned at the job. So but you still need to make sense. Okay, you can't go to a football game and they're like, why are they running behind one ball? So you need to learn the sport.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot. I think, guys, at this point, we'll have to stop now. Yeah, absolutely. And attitude, we discussed about it. So thanks a lot, everyone, for taking out time. Special thanks to Aditya. And finally, by the grace of God, we were able to do the session today. We have been thinking about it for some time, but yeah, today it happened. Thanks a lot, everyone. Enjoy the rest of the weekend. Bye bye. Thank you,
Thanks,
Aditya.
Anand.
I'm ending the call
Thank
for
you,
you.
everyone.
Thank you.